Assalamu everyone. So, as previously discussed, I will be making videos on the qualifying cycle for the nationals because I, for one, also would like to qualify. So, in order to understand what it takes to qualify, we will be reviewing the games of qualified players who won their games, who performed exceedingly well in the qualifying cycle this year. And we will be basically analyzing their games, understanding the mentality that it takes in order to win. And without much further ado, I'll come to the subject of today's video. Now, the PSO Sindh Qualifying Chess Championship was a classical tournament held at Beach Luxury Resort, which is one of I think Karachi's best venues, and it was a toughly contested match, and Mafaaz Khalid emerged victorious. So therefore, we will be analyzing all of his games which he played throughout the tournament, understanding what it takes to be a champion, and perhaps learning something new from his games. Now, for those of you who don't know, Mahfaz has been playing for a long time on YouTube and on Twitch as well, and online in general, and is extremely and has a classical rating of 2400 on leeches.org. So his games are expected to be of a high quality. Now, without much further ado, we'll begin analyzing the game. We can already see that the engine is giving e4 as the best move, but alas, Mahfaz had the white pieces and began with the move d4. We have d4, knight to f6, c4, e6, the queen's gambit declined. Well, after these moves is on the board. Knight to f3, all standards up. Knight to with the move c6 we transpose into the semi-Slav defense. Bishop g5 now would be a good time to consider taking over here, but black has other stuff in mind. He plays knight bd7, e3, bishop to d6, all standards up, queen c2, h6, bishop h4, castles. C captures d5. C captures d5 is one of those moves which infuriates any semi-Slav player. E captures d5, bishop d3, all general ideas been played 1,000 times. Look to e8, castles, and knight to f8, a typical idea. You're freeing your bishop. You are going to be eyeing this square in the future, sometime in the future, and you'll also be protecting over here against potential threats. So still we're following general rules, and in the database more than, I don't know, thousands of games have been played. We have rook, and now with this move rook f to c1 we enter into new territory. The general idea usually goes that you continue the game with rook a e1, sorry about that, bishop to g4, knight to d2, and you continue, with playing normal moves like normal moves, I guess. This goes here, this goes there, and you continue development. The main idea of rook a to e1 being the fact that you want to somehow push e4 in the future. But rook f to c1, I guess, is a prophylactic move. From what I could understand, is a prophylactic move defending against the move c5. But c5 does not work in this case, as I will be showing you guys in the future. So game continues with bishop to g4, which is quite a typical idea. Knight goes back to d2, rook c8, matching the fact that he has doubled up on the c file, and I guess playing c5. Knight to f1 is another typical move, I guess. You're protecting this in some time in the future. If you ever decide to play the move f4, for example, you would like a defender to be here, although f4 is not a recommended move at all. But let's see, because what white had in mind, knight f2 seems to be a very good choice for that plan. And we have bishop h5. Bishop h5 obviously is a very nice move, and why wasn't c5 played, you might ask. Well, going for the c5 plan, c5 d captures c5, bishop c5, bishop captures f6, queen captures f6, knight captures d5, and you're just down a pawn. And even though you've sacked a pawn, you don't have much to show for it. Really, the knight will find it, or any other minor piece will find its way over this d4 square, and you don't have that much activity, and you just gambited a pawn for no apparent reason whatsoever. So therefore, the move h5, anticipating, in my opinion, perhaps this move was played, but let's see. So we have a3 with ideas of locking the position with b5, preventing c5 break in the future. Bishop goes back to g6, eyeing a trade, wanting a trade of light squared bishop, which would obviously favor black. And white replies in kind, saying that okay, I want to trade, but I'll be trading on my terms. Why with this move? And I guess what he's trying to say is that perhaps he's adding some sort of pressure over here. I don't know. Bishop captures f5. Okay, the fact that I don't know is going to be much relevant theme in these upcoming games, because I simply do not have all the answers, I guess. There's not much to it. Okay, so queen captures f5, and he wants a trade of queens. Now, I guess this move white did not anticipate that much, because, you know, maybe his idea was that I'll be trading over here, but this move perhaps caught him off guard, seeing that he can't do it again, right? So queen goes back to d3. He is not in the mood for trading. However, the placement of the minor pieces greatly favors black right now, because these are just like the squares you want your pieces to be at, I think, as black. And as white, as far as my study of the structure goes, these pieces aren't where they need to be, as per what my study of the position says. So quickly eyeing that e4 square, black places a knight. f3, pushing it away. Now, you're usually not supposed to play f3, but white does, and I guess that's what is required to qualify, I guess, because this is a typical theme I'm seeing in many of these games, that you're playing in a way that black, like the opponent doesn't expect you to play, right? So yeah, I don't know if I'm making sense or not. So f3. If say this is an alternate line that could have been played, I guess, just trading off stuff, and but alas, it wasn't played. This line seems much better, but okay. We have knight to g6, f captures e4. So you're still trading pieces, but you're trading on black's terms now. Sorry about that. We have this move, this move, this move, and in my opinion, the correct move would have been to trade the dark squared bishop. You want to trade the dark squared bishop as early as possible, because that's what you're supposed to do, right? Because the dark squared bishop is one of black's biggest assets in semi-Slav positions, as well as the fact that all your pawns, and you have a weakness right here, which is a dark squared pawn weakness as well. But I guess perhaps he was thinking that after this move, black wouldn't be able to find a place for his bishop, but I think it's perfectly placed as is on this diagonal right here. So instead, white plays this. It could also be the fact that he wanted to play for a win, and nothing wrong with this move at all if you're going for a win and if you want to just, you know, see what's happening. So knight goes back to g6, b4, rook c d8, rook a b1. I guess he's trying to bust open the queen side now. Bishop goes to c7, eyeing for some sort of stuff, or maybe just, you know, I don't know, some sort of stuff, I guess. a4. We have rook e7, b5, busting open the queen side. C captures b5, rook captures b5 now, And rook captures b5 is an interesting choice really, because otherwise this is just a very weak pawn structure, and if you're playing like this as white is playing, you should be playing for activity, and therefore you take with the rook and your pieces are more active. a6. Now a6 is a very nice move as well, because black simply pounces on white's position and finds a very nice combination here, which I quite like. Rook b4, bishop a5, and rook bc4, and the move e5, knight to e5 was played. A very nice way to simplify the position, and the resulting structure greatly favors black in an endgame, and he'll have a long-term advantage as well. So d captures e5, takes, rook a b1, and now you can see what I'm talking about really, right? Because the structure greatly favors black. You see he has all these ideas and plans, and white doesn't really have that much going for him. So in a classical game, I guess these moves matter a lot. So rook goes to d5, first of all initiating attack, protecting this bishop right here as well. And you know that this is the way you win actually these sort of end games, is that you keep on creating threats and wind up black's or your opponent's pieces to protecting against those threats. So rook c8, king b7, rook b8, b6, provoking some weaknesses in black structure. Takes, you're trading off some pieces, but here is where the weakness of white's position really starts to show. Rook a e1, white protects, rook c4, and this is where I like black's play now, because he's dealing with all the threats in the position first off, then he will eventually grab the pawn by first mitigating all other threats. So black goes here. Now this is an interesting move really, because you can't still take the pawn right here because of the fact that there's an infiltration coming through and there's nothing stopping this pawn from falling. So first he plays this move here. Now only now now that he's dealt with all the threats, he'll grab this pawn off here, and white says, okay, I'll bring in my last active piece, and the game continues. Now that black is up a pawn, he forces a trade of rooks, and now you see black clearly has a better bishop than white's knight, and a clean passer as well. So here, clamping down on the position, preventing the move g4 from being played in the future. So white brings his king up, further clamping down the position, which I quite like. He's playing as it should have been played. King goes here. Both sides begin moving their king. I think a few moves back, actually, f5 would have been a very good option as well. Just stopping any and all attempts of any sort of resistance at all and keeping the king locked in. However, the move was missed for whatever reason, and the game continued with king to f6, king e4, king e6, and both sides start to move their kings about. Now the reason this move is a mistake is because black has the option of infiltrating right here, but and picking this up as well, but I guess he is scared about this pawn falling. So f5 now, a bit too late actually, because of the fact that the king is already skipped. Knight goes back to h1 or g1, sorry. The pawns start rolling forward, which is a good idea in all cases. And now these king side majority pawns will be a hindrance within white's position. Goes over here. Now he decides to infiltrate somehow, and this move is a blunder because of the fact Well, it's not because of the fact that after these couple of moves, there's nothing stopping really black from infiltrating into the position, right? So now this move was a mistake. Had he simply just played this move, or even just took over here, 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 there's nothing much to be done really, because of the fact that this pawn will be falling uh, here, here. I guess even this nothing stopping this pawn from falling, right? And this king will find an easy way to infiltrate as well. So he missed a win right there. So after g4 we had this move and this move, because he's afraid of this pawn from falling, which is a recurring theme we'll be seeing here, here, here. Obviously you can't be foolish enough to take right here, because then you're entering into a losing endgame. Here, 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 and white is actually making some sort of progress, because of the fact that black is too scared to let go of his pawn and is valuing material over activity. So here, 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 and knight. This is the final straw, because of the fact that now you don't have to take here. Now actually the best move over here was giving a check right there, there, and then just picking this up, just picking up a clean pawn. And even if white tries something like this, you just simply take over here and you're winning. Even if this, then this, and even if this, then just queen, and nothing white can do really. But instead he he didn't give a check right there, he just gave a check right there, which is unfortunate in my opinion. Here, 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 and now it's simply just a draw. No matter what white does, these pawns aren't going anywhere anytime soon. So the game was played for a few moves, right, and both players agreed to a draw. Now the lesson to be learned from this game in itself is the fact that one must always value activity over material in endgames, and should not be afraid of taking risks, in my opinion. So we'll be continuing on the next game. So, and now this game is an interesting game as well, where Mafaaz again had the white pieces, and he was up against national master Asif Abbasi. Again, he continues the move. He begins the game with the move d4. We have d5, the queen's gambit, same exact moves as the first game. However, over here they deviate, and he plays this structure, right? And this is a structure which I'm seeing much more of nowadays in games between top level Pakistani players, even though I used to think that this wasn't as good as for white, but it's definitely not wrong either, I'd say. Especially the move which comes quite later in the game, this move. I was of the knowledge that this was supposed to be an unprincipled move, because of the fact that after takes, it's just, this pawn break is supposed to be devastating for some reason or the other, or so I've heard. So here, you trade off the dark squared bishop. So he's learned his lesson from the last game, it seems, that black's dark squared bishop has to be traded off. Here, and apparently you're just okay right here. See, like I said, this move is supposed to be played in positions such as these, and obviously you're not supposed to take. Here, clamping down on the position, g6, bishop goes back to h3, which, okay, might be a hindrance of some sorts, and knight goes here, eyeing to position itself right here. And g3 is the first real inaccuracy of the game, in my opinion, because I am of the knowledge that you're not supposed to play g3 at all. when your opponent has clamped down on the position, because it weakens this square a lot as well as creates holes over here. So either I know nothing about chess, which is most probably the case. Yeah, that's most probably the case. So let's see what we have here. Uh, so knight d to f6, g2, knight jumps to g5, and already you can tell that positionally black is doing much better in this position as compared to white. Knight goes to e2, bishop h3, trading off of the light squared bishop as well as infiltration of the knight if takes. So therefore here, here, and okay, what's up with this move is probably that he is anticipating the move h4, and so he's just positioning his pieces back. h7, sorry, rook d1, queen to d1. Sorry, the long video is getting to me now. It's been a while since I've made videos, and already the video is a bit long, so I'll just be going over moves now, showing you guys the game. Rook d1. Here, trying to infiltrate on the light squares, it seems. h3 is a bit provocative and inaccurate in my opinion, because it just creates a weakness right here, which could be exploited in the future. So g5, as I said. And now the problem with this move, what's the problem with this move actually? What's the problem with this move? I guess you just go back and what's the problem with this move? I guess you just go back and bring all the other pieces into the game, and at some point break open the position, perhaps. And obviously there's no stopping against this move as well. So okay, rook a, just clamping down on the queen side before initiating his king side attack, which is very principled. Here, bringing all of his pieces into the king side attack. And now instead of what I had seen in my preliminary analysis of the game, instead of this, I would have much rather preferred white to have played this move, with just pushing away the pawn as well as guarding against infiltration, and pushing away the knight, sorry. And yeah, but I guess what he was afraid of was probably something like this, and I guess even just going over here and something like this and this and this. This was probably what he was afraid of. So that's why I think he played this move. So here, and there's no defending this pawn. He just gives it up and admits his weakness. But the fact that, as I said, you're not supposed to play g3 in these sorts of position, right? Because now you see that once this pawn falls over here, there's no way to push this away. Oof, the analysis is getting shittier and shittier by the minute. So okay, here, he gives up this pawn and concedes a very powerful pair of knights on the king side. And to put matters worse, black has the only open file, right? Infiltration, here, and black plays a very tricky move right here. And over here, you can't take this because of the fact that after this and this, one of these knights is going to fall, right? And you can't even take over here as well because it's the same thing, right? So the only logical move being you go give a check right there, king goes up, and now you go over here, eyeing this pawn over here as well as going after these pawns. But this in turn also turns out to be a blunder, because the move, the rook a1, knight to f4, and the rooks have successfully infiltrated and will most likely be overpowered within a few moves. Rook c2 going after those pawns, as I said, other rook comes in, and now you can see that his main threat is actually going to be to go here and here. Sorry, just go here, here, and mate him. So there has to be a guard against that at all points. So he plays this move, saying that okay, if you go over here, if you go over here, saying that if you go over here, there is nothing to be done, but instead I'm pretty sure, yeah, he plays actually this move right here, telling like white to move away with his knight, and then I'll go here for whatever reason. So here, here, and now he blunders. Obviously the idea which he has is that he'll it's something, it's called overload, yeah, overload the rook and then just take over here, but to black's dismay, actually everything works out in the end because he has a defensive resource of this move. Here, here, he thinks white at this point, black at this point probably thinks he has something, right? And like after this move, to his horror, I might add, he found out that everything protects itself in the end and there is simply nothing to be done. Here, 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 and everything's protected, and the only chance which he had to win the games a couple of moves ago with this move, right, is now gone. This mating idea, he overlooked this mating idea right here. So here, here, and everything's protected, right? Even white is now taking the initiative of attacking, and white will have some problems to deal with. Black will have some problems to deal with now. Here, with the idea of getting a few checks in with the position and some tactics in, but to his dismay and horror, there isn't much to be done. See the knight, seeing that the knight is now well placed on this square, attacking this is hanging. This knight isn't going anywhere anytime soon. So here, and I just take with check. Here, here, and it's just overwrite because of the fact that this rook falls. What happened here? What happened here? What happened here was that black knew he had a winning position. Quite a nice opening, quite a nice middle game, a very nice. He probably thought he had something over here as well, and when he didn't, he crumbled. He mentally crumbled. That's what happened because he played a series of inaccurate moves, and it's pretty unfortunate when something like this happens. And the best part, and the thing to do in these sort of situations is to actually keep pushing for a win and being very objective in your thoughts. And this is how he won his second game, drew his first game, and now has 1.5 out of 2. I'll be covering all of his other games as well, and hopefully there'll be shorter videos than these, and my analysis will improve over time. I'm a bit rusty right now, but yeah, this is it. Thanks if you made it this far. Thanks for supporting the channel, I guess.